You probably don't even think about the everyday items in your kitchen being toxic. But what if I told you that some of them might be seriously harming your health? The same pans, pots, kettles, utensils, bottles, and containers are loaded and coated with known to be harmful chemicals that can leach into your food and cause harm to you and your family over time. The more I learned about how to create a non-toxic home, even new information I found when putting together this video, I'm dumbfounded by how much damage these everyday items can do. So here are 18 toxic kitchen items you need to let go, what they are actually doing to you, and what you can replace them with. If you want to dive deeper into the why and how behind each of these, I've created a doc with all the sources and additional information, and you can find it in the description. You can, of course, research all of these on your own because some are pretty surprising and hard to believe, I know. But in the doc, I've gathered up all of my resources to make this easier for you. So let's get started. Number 1, plastic food containers. These can leach chemicals like BPA and phthalates into your food, especially when they come into contact with heat or acidic foods like tomato sauce. Even the BPA-free options can still contain things like BPF and BPS, which is just a chemical cousin of BPA. And all of these are known hormone disruptors, and they can also cause cancer. Safer materials for your food storage is either glass or stainless steel. Glass, though heavier and might be a little bit pricier, will actually last you for a longer time. It doesn't get scratched, so it doesn't shed microplastics into your food, and it's really worth the investment. Number 2, plastic water bottles. So when it comes to bottles, you really want to switch to something like glass or stainless steel, like this shaker. Even if the bottle is BPA free, it can still contain the chemical cousins of BPA, which is BPS or BPF, which are not safe either. And a lot of times I see people leaving their water bottles in a hot car. So when these chemicals come into contact with heat, they can actually leach into your drinks. For our son, we use these glass jars, which have a silicone sleeve, so he can't break them. I absolutely love water tumblers, but the problem with these is that they often contain lead, which is a heavy metal and it's harmful to your health. But this brand, Hydro Flask, has been tested and it's lead-free, so there's no danger to that. I just swapped their plastic straw, which had a silicone ending, for this one, which brings me to item number 3, straws. So you want to swap out your plastic straws for something healthier, but a paper one will not do the job because the glue and the dyes from these can actually leach into your drinks. So what I did is I bought a bunch of glass ones and stainless steel ones. You can use them with a cold or hot drink and you are not risking the chemicals leaching into your drink. You just have to maintain it properly to make sure that there's no bacteria accumulating inside of them. Number 4, non-stick pans, pots, and baking trays. Non-stick kitchenware often contains Teflon, which can release toxic fumes when overheated, and when scratched, it also releases PFAS, which are known to cause liver damage, thyroid issues, and even contribute to cancer. Even the ceramic ones, when scratched, can release some pretty harmful toxins. So your best bet is to stick with stainless steel or cast iron. They will last you forever and won't poison your food. Number 5, air fryers. These have the same coating as your non-stick pots and pans, so they carry the same risks. Look for the ones that have stainless steel basket or skip them altogether because honestly, they're just glorified ovens. Number 6, enamel cast iron and Dutch ovens. Even the high-end brands have been tested positive for lead and cadmium, and these are heavy metals that have literally no safe limits. So even exposure to a small amount can carry some serious health risks like neurological issues, especially in children. So whenever possible, opt for uncoated cast iron or glass. Number 7, plastic cutting boards. Every single time you cut food on your plastic board, especially when it's scratched, it actually releases microplastics into the food. And the scratches also harbor bacteria. So a safer option is all solid wood board. And I have a few, so I separate cutting the fresh meat, dairy, and bread. And you can also use a glass one, but I actually heard that those can damage your knives, so I would stay away. And also be aware of the bamboo ones because they often are glued together with harmful chemicals. Number 8, black plastic kitchen utensils. These utensils are often made from recycled electronic waste, and the process of recycling these is very poorly regulated. So you have extra toxins and heavy metals that can leach into your food, especially when the utensils come into contact with heat or acidic foods. So safer options are stainless steel and wooden utensils, and honestly, they will last you longer. Number 9, plastic sieves and colanders. I think by now you get it. Hot water and plastic don't go together. So instead, opt for stainless steel, which won't leak microplastics into your food. Number 10, capsule coffee machines. I don't know about you, but the coffee actually tastes kind of gross to me. It tastes burnt. So you have no control over the quality of the coffee inside of the capsule, but the capsule itself can actually leach microplastics and other chemicals into your drink. So instead, I love my V60 or this glass AeroPress, which I just got for my birthday from Andri. It does have a rubber part, but it actually doesn't even have to touch the coffee. So I'm perfectly okay with that. Number 11, plastic water kettles. So we used to have the stainless steel one until I realized that there was actually a measuring part, that little window that was in plastic and it was in constant touch with the boiling water, which is no bueno. So instead I looked for one that is fully stainless steel. So you can look inside, no plastic parts whatsoever. So this is the safest option. Number 12, plastic coffee makers. So same as with the kettle, you don't want the hot boiling water to be touching plastic at any point. Most countertop coffee makers are plastic, and the same goes for the tubing inside of espresso machines. So if you really want your espresso, get something like this, a stovetop mocha pot. This is aluminium though, so try to go for stainless steel, but I use it like once a year, so I'm okay with that. And while doing our research, we actually found this really high-end expensive espresso machine that has brass tubing inside, so zero plastic inside. So if you're in that kind of stuff and want to geek out, check it out. Number 13, aluminium foil and parchment paper. So there's quite a few things wrong with these things. Aluminium foil, for example, cooking with it can leach aluminium into your food, especially when you cook something acidic like tomatoes. And parchment paper, they're often coated with PFAS, which make them non-stick, but the PFAS can also leach into your food, so you want to avoid that. You won't find the conventional baking paper in my kitchen. I use this one, which is unbleached paper, PFAS-free and chlorine-free. So it's the best option if you want to use a paper, but you can also use just a simple stainless steel baking sheet and it will do just as good of a job. Number 14, plastic wraps and cling film. We've already covered this so much in the video. Hot foods and plastic don't go together. I avoid the plastic cling film altogether and just use glass containers to store my food. Yes, they do have a plastic lid, but I make sure that the food does not touch it, and I will not close it entirely until the food has cooled down completely. Number 15, crystal glassware and wine glasses. While I really love how the wine glasses look on the table, the material often contains lead, which is a known neurotoxin, and it leaches into your drink, especially if the liquid is acidic, which is the case with wine. So instead, stick to regular glass or stainless steel drinkware. Number 16, old or chipped ceramic dishes. The glaze on these can actually contain cadmium and lead, which are harmful to your health. And especially when chipped, they can easily leach into your food. And even though I love my grandma's ceramic set, I actually don't have a way to find out whether it's lead-free. So just to stay on the safe side, I always opt for new certified lead-free ceramics and glass dishware. Number 17, conventional dish sponges. So I've actually heard some people say that if someone uses a sponge to wash their dishes, they will not eat in their house. That's a bit extreme in my opinion, but they do harbor a lot of bacteria. So the safer options are something that is made of coconut, for example, that I'm using, or this brush, which literally lasts forever. And for bottles, I use this. I don't know what is it made out of anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's all natural. And finally, number 18, conventional dishwashing liquids and dishwasher tablets. I will not use the conventional stuff at all because they're packed with known to be harmful chemicals, and the residue of these stays on your dishes even after you wash them. The good news is that there is plenty of plant-based, fragrance-free, and toxin-free options on the market. So there you have it, all the most common toxic kitchen items. Start with what you use the most, like plastic containers or scratched pans, and make the switch gradually. And now that you're on a cleaning up your environment, there's actually an even sneakier source of harmful chemicals that you're very intimately exposed to every single day, which is the clothes you're wearing. And I'm not even kidding, it's actually mind-bending. So watch this video next to find out which fabrics you should avoid and why.